Week 11. Tonight we have New England and Atlanta, a Super Bowl from a couple years ago. But tonight I'm joined by Sean, who's usually with me every week, and Payo Time, LA Rams YouTuber. Sean, how are you this evening?
I'm good, John. How are you?
Good, doing well. Payo, how are you?
I'm doing rocking after that epic intro. Is that new? New?
Yeah, I created it this week, and this is the first time we used it.
Love it. Yeah. No,
thanks for that. So, before we get into tonight's game, how did your guys' teams, both fantasy and your NFL teams, do this week?
Oh my! You had to ask me about that.
I'm just gonna let him start just for the fact that we need to have him start.
So obviously the Rams had a terrible game. I don't want to talk about it too much because I literally have collabed with like two other 49ers YouTubers who brought me on their channel just to kind of roast me in the politest way possible. And then hey, what's up, Dirtbag? I see you in the chat. He's a cool guy. But yeah, the Rams had a brutal loss. And then my fantasy team, though, I actually did pretty good. In my 4 leagues, I was able to win 3 of 4 matchups this week, even though I was a Rams-heavy team in all of them. But I had some good weeks in there for sure.
Mostly peaceful.
Yeah, I mean, the Vikings won for me at least, and then I mean, in me and John's league, I'm undefeated, 10-0 with a 4-game lead over second place, just pure domination. And then in my other league that I play in, I finished with the second most points in the week, and I lost. So I happened to be the one week that I played the guy that has the highest points, and then there was 2 matchups that the people had 60 points, and they won both of their matchups. And I'm like, I got double your points, and I took an L. And I'm like, and that's I was started that league 5-1, and I've lost 4 straight weeks, and I have the highest points in the league, and I'm 5-5 in the last spot for the playoffs, and I'm like, I just can't catch a break.
Yeah, I think. Hold on. I'm hearing it too. I think there's something on that. It makes Sean sound like he's talking to someone, but he's not actually.
Oh well, I had a TV on. I just muted that, so
there you go.
I forgot to do that. So
unacceptable.
Yep.
Shout out to Dirtbag
for rookie mistakes here.
Calling it out in the chat. No.
But yeah, my Jets didn't look good again. It's getting tougher and tougher to watch each week. But
Mike White era.
It's over.
My
fantasy team, I started off 0-5, and I am now 4-6. So making a late playoff push here.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Just think, you're only 2 games out of second place.
Just say that's all right.
But you're still 6 games out from first. So I mean,
you stop. As long as I make it to the championship game, that's all that matters.
I'm just gonna start resting my starters for the rest of fantasy. I already got the automatic buy. I'm already golden. Like, it's over.
Well, that's a good question. Do you guys have any particular players that you think we should be targeting now to like trade for the playoffs? Like, if you're like Sean and you already have your playoff spot locked up.
I mean,
actually, Sean, you answer that because I'm still struggling to make sure I get a healthy lineup in each week.
I mean, if you got people like, I mean, I got Dak and I got Kyler Murray for my quarterback, so it's like it's a struggle right now because like Dak's not playing like lights out. Up until this past week, he's been struggling, and then Kyler's injured constantly now, so it's like, and so I mean, it's kind of like on those edge, like you want to pick up people like kind of like Cam Newton, I would think, but it's like at the same time, how much like he only had that one pass play that was a touchdown, and he had 2 other attempts, and then I think it was like he was 2 for 3 for like 11 yards and a touchdown, and then he had like 3 rush attempts for 6 yards and a touchdown. So like that was the only reason why he had made any fantasy implications in that game. But I would just think like you almost gotta pick up quarterbacks that are kind of like on the edge of like battling for playoffs, kind of like Kirk Cousins, like Cam Newton,
Mahomes,
Matt,
if you can somehow get Mahomes.
Matt Ryan, kind of. I know he's available in a lot of leagues. You stay away from anyone on the Jets.
Yeah.
And I mean, even
Carter, Michael Carter's doable.
Yeah, Jimmy G wouldn't be a bad person at quarterback. And then running back wise, it's kind of like, I don't know. Even running back and wide receiver, you kind of can pick up anybody any given week. Depending on who.
Go ahead, Sean.
Depending on who you have. I mean, if you have a stacked lineup, like, it all kind of goes off of who you have. Because, like, I know in our league I have Najee Harris, I have Dalvin, I have Darrell Henderson, and Alvin Kamara. So I have 4 people that are battling just for playoffs. So it's like, I know at least from my aspect, I always have like kind of the like people that I'm going to need for all the playoffs. They're not going to have like that bye week and early bye kind of like if they clinch like week 15 or 16 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just looking at it real quick, Matt Ryan is available in over 40% of leagues, and Jimmy G is available in over 80% of leagues. So it might not be bad.
Check out my waiver wire right now.
Yeah, adding him.
Even a player.
Go ahead, Sean.
Even Tua, I kind of what he did against Baltimore. It's kind of like, how is he going to play this week, sort of thing. Like, is he going to have a bounce back week to like start like maybe like how he played last year where he was decent, or is he going to start like he did it, be like how he was in the beginning of the year and he was kind of just like that?
Yeah, and I just
15th to 20th.
And Tua is available. It says he's available in 70.2% of leagues. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a bad player to have. I mean, the only problem is that Miami doesn't have much of a run game, so it's like you gotta kind of hope and pray he throws the ball to Mike Gesicki 50 times a game and he catches 10 of those.
Yeah, but before we get too far here, Dirtbag asks, so Elijah Mitchell had surgery on his finger, but it sounds like he might be limited in this coming up game. Do you guys think I should start him still? Dirtbag, if you're still here, let us know who your other options are. But I didn't know anything about the finger. Sean, did you?
Yeah, he broke his finger. He dislocated his finger Monday night in the third quarter, and they popped it back into place, taped it to another finger, and let it roll for the rest of the game. And then I think they have a Monday or a Sunday afternoon game, I think, a 4:30 game, so it might help a little extra time for him to be able to practice Sunday morning. But I would still think if he plays, you start him. I don't see anyone else other than Mitchell right now kind of controlling the backfield. Truthfully, I think Mitchell got that starting job as a running back there over Trey Sermon coming in, and that they were both rookies, because Mostert was on a contract year and he spent the last 2 years on IR for them.
Got you. And I do have Mitchell projected this week at just under 11 points, 65 yards rushing, 40% chance of a touchdown. So yeah, I mean, he's projected in the same area as Gibson and Kareem Hunt and Damien Harris. So definitely worth starting him if you have no other options. He also asks, Peyo, do you have any comments on Mitchell?
I think, like, unless you have clear, better options.
I'm sorry, he just said he has no other options.
Well, then you're kind of stuck playing him, I guess.
Yeah, you start him.
Yeah, I think you monitor the situation. I think you have to be prepared that he might take a hit in carries. But then again, like the Jaguars, it's not like they're this elite defense. Sure, they've had 2 decent performances lately, but like even that, like that shouldn't deter you from starting a good player against a bad team.
Yeah, I mean, and even with his game, if anything, if it comes down to it, you usually have about an hour prior to the game if they say like if he's active or inactive, and depending if you could pick up somebody, if anything, I would pick up Jamichael. I think it's Jamichael Hasty or something is his name. Hasty, yeah. I mean, I would pick him up because they said that if Mitchell ends up not going, it would go to Hasty, who starts, and then they said Sermon could get some carries, but I don't know. I think that they kind of gotten off that ship of him being their lead running back as a rookie there already. I mean, we're going in week 11, and he's only started or gotten carries, I think, in like 3 or 4 games.
For sure. Yeah.
Yep. Max chimes in. Should I start Damien Harris or Foreman in PPR?
Damien Harris.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know there is question. There was some question coming into the game, but you said it sounds like he's playing tonight, right?
Yeah, they removed the question off of after yesterday. He was questioned up to yesterday, and they removed that. Foreman, I believe he's on the Titans.
I'm looking now.
I think he's on the Titans, and I think because I thought I saw him. I read that he's been like picked up in a lot of fantasy this week for some reason. Like, but
because McNichols is battling an injury, so that's why.
But I don't know. You still got the guy Adrian Pearson in the backfield. You kind of can't say. You kind of can't say the guy that controls the ball for most of his career and is just unstoppable when he gets the ball. I mean, yeah, he's not 25, 30 years old again, but he's still getting it done. I mean,
and he's healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he scored against your Rams 2 weeks ago, and then last week I think he scored this past week against the Saints, I believe, as well.
Yeah,
no. Harris. I have Harris in my fantasy league, and I am starting him tonight. So
yeah, I have him in my DraftKings lineup already tonight. I was like, he's getting double points easily.
Yeah,
he's going off. I mean, I think the Patriots running back core as a whole is what's carrying them right now, and I think it's a 4-game win streak in tonight or something.
Yeah,
they've been hot recently, but I'm hoping. Just because I really like it when the Patriots lose, I'm hoping the Falcons do that. But I am starting Harris in one of my leagues tonight, so I'm hoping that he can have himself a bit of a game.
I mean, I don't care. Mac Jones can have 4 turnovers as long as Harris scores at least a touchdown in there. Just give me 1 touchdown, 100 yards. We're okay.
That works.
Yeah, absolutely. Dirtbag, I was thinking about using the fullback use check. That might be a bad idea.
Kyle Juszczyk
from San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you get enough. I don't think you would get enough. I don't think you would get enough carries there. I mean, because you figure if they have running backs that they can use, I don't know if they would get him because he's not like he's a speed guy. Yeah, he's big and he's good down inside the red zone, but other than that, if he doesn't get a touchdown, it kind of wouldn't. I don't think he'd make it.
Yeah, I don't have him. I don't think he's worth the fantasy start at all.
There's way better options that would be available on your waiver wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's take a look at this week's schedule. Let me pull it up on the screen here. Oh, there we go. Let's get rid of that. Besides your, let's see here. Rams are on a bye this week. Are you looking forward to any of the games this week, Peo?
Oh, I'll always look forward to football games. Yeah, no, it'll be a fun Sunday. I am looking forward to tonight's game. I think it has the potential to be a close one. And then I always look forward to seeing what happens with the Lions because it's entertaining, even though it's the Lions. And then, definitely that Green Bay Minnesota game. I think it has the potential to be either super one-sided Green Bay or maybe Minnesota makes a game of it. I don't. You know what though? Compared to some of the other weeks, there's not a ton. I'm excited to see Cam versus Ron Rivera in that Carolina Washington's game. That'll be kind of fun. I guess you got the Jets and Dolphins rivalry with Joe Flacco starting.
Oh man! And Miami's getting hot now, so who knows what's going to happen there?
I think that's just a battle of the defenses. Who can put their offense in good scoring position that game?
Bills Colts has the potential to be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's a lot this week of good games, and I think it comes down to it. There's a lot of games that come down to it is winners and losers could define playoff seedings for a lot of. I mean, the Colts. If the Colts lose and the Titans win, I think the Titans have a 5-game lead in their division. So it's like
that's big.
It's this late in the year. They're almost ready to clinch it in 2 weeks already. It's like, but I think the biggest matchup of the week right now is going to be the Chiefs versus Dallas. I think that comes down to it is Dallas has to keep winning in order to try their chance at the 1 seed. And the Chiefs are starting to get their defense rolling, and they're kind of getting the offense. The offense is starting to roll. I mean, back-to-back games, their offense has been putting up points. So I think that Dallas could have issues with Kansas City if their offense is finally going down. I mean, we already know Trevon Diggs is going to be on Tyreek Hill the whole game. So is Kelsey, Hardman, or anyone else going to be able to step up enough to get the yardage and all that and possible score here and there?
Yeah,
there's some Arizona going to Seattle. It'll be interesting to see. I haven't seen if Hopkins and Murray are back for Arizona. I do know Russell Wilson was back for Seattle last week, so now with a game under his belt, hopefully he can get back to being himself. But
I don't even know. I don't think you consider that a game under his belt. That was just.
Well, I mean, at least he played. He played, but I don't.
He stepped on the field.
That was just a scrimmage for him almost because he didn't even start yet. He was just like warming up yet on the sideline.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the game? I just like Sunday Night Football, the Steelers and Chargers. Like, I'm not looking forward to watching that in prime time.
I don't understand how Steelers have so many.
Forward to it.
I'm not. No,
me neither. No,
I feel like Cowboys and Chiefs would have been way better, or even Arizona and Seattle,
or even Monday night Giants going down to Tampa Bay.
The Giants are going to beat Tampa Bay on Monday night. Watch.
I would love that.
Tampa Bay just lost to Washington.
Why are you?
Who doesn't even? They don't even have a team name. Come on, they just lost to a team without a name. I don't know. If the Giants can play like they've been playing, I mean, they just beat Las Vegas at home. And the offense
coming up a bye week.
Never
underestimate that.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa Bay is struggling. Tom Brady is struggling right now. The 2-game losing streak again, in 2 games that they should have won. So
he's thrown back-to-back picks in both games too.
Yeah, it's just
2 picks in the past 2 games.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think in Washington he had 3 interceptions in the first half.
Well, then when I looked at it early on, he was 2 for 6 with 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and the 1 interception was just straight to the Washington guy. Like, it wasn't even. And one was tipped, but it's like, I don't know. It comes down to it is I think that the NFL loves putting Pittsburgh on national television. I don't know why. All I know is every time I watch the Chargers at home, their fans are outnumbered by the team that's away. So I don't know why they would put a team that's going to have less of their own fans in the stands on Sunday Night Football. Like you said, I think Dallas and Kansas City would have been the prime game to put on Sunday Night Football. They would have had the viewers for days. But at the same time, the Sunday night or even Thursday night game, we finally got one that's been good. I mean, we've been having a few bad weeks. I mean, last week, Miami, we didn't think had a chance, and they came in. So at least this week we have 2 teams that have a chance.
See, but even like that Miami and Baltimore game, like, call it what it is. Like, it's entertaining that the Dolphins won, but it was an ugly game. Like at no point was that like, oh, this is like the epitome of what the NFL should be. Like, kids, watch this, do this. Like,
I still think the play of the week was the lineman that got the touchdown.
Yeah,
juked the guy, and then trucked someone else and went over backwards. And they could at least said, all right, you could at least have a touchdown for it. But no, they were like, you can't have it. It's illegal.
I loved it.
I'm pretty sure that made Joe Buck and Troy Aikman's night that night, being able to talk about that for like the rest of the night.
Pretty much, yeah.
And you talk about boring. I sat through and watched the Lions Steelers game.
Yeah.
Neither team wanted to win that.
I say to this day, and after that game ends Sunday night, I still don't understand why are there ties in the NFL.
Right.
Pittsburgh will make the playoffs now because of that tie.
That half a game, right? That half a game.
Because it counts as a half a game win. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but that should count as 2 losses if you tied to a team that has no wins at home.
It
should be actually 3 losses. Actually, you got 3 wins taken away.
I just remember so I was on Red Zone when that game was going on, and then when I actually thought the Lions were going to win that game, I switched over to it, and I'm like, yes, I still have a soft spot for Jared Goff, even though he was playing horrible. And I'm watching that game, and I'm like, they're gonna do this. And when they lined up for that kick, I'm like, the Lions are gonna do it. They're gonna, and sure enough, it was just like a terrible kick.
Right. At first, I thought it was blocked.
I thought it was tipped. I thought it was a tip off the line, and then they showed the replay, and he literally just botched the kick completely. Yeah. And I'm like, you were probably better off going for it on 4th and 8 that it was, because you probably would have had a better chance.
I just, because it was such a weird kick, because the snap and the hold were fine. He didn't kick the laces, and it was such a bizarre kick to just be wonky the way that it was.
And the worst part about it is he missed an extra point earlier in the game.
Yeah, so they would have won.
So he missed an extra point, and I'm pretty sure he missed another field goal in that game. So I don't think he actually got a single point for the team.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh, the Lions.
Dirtbag says the Lions are going to go 0-16-1 now.
Well, they can't beat the record of 0-16.
No.
But doesn't 0-16-1 look worse than 0-17 in some ways?
Well, it looks worse on the Steelers.
Yeah, that's fair.
If the Steelers end up being the team that they tied to, and then it kind of comes back to the Steelers shouldn't just.
Ooh, this is a tough one.
All right, we got Mark with a question: Stevenson for the Pats or Tony for the Giants? Flex standard. Sean, while I look at the stats, do you have an early say on that?
Is Tony healthy? Is the question. Is any Giants wide receiver healthy?
It's tough. You have to make that choice tonight.
Right.
Stevenson's playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
and with Harris being back, what kind of workload is Stevenson going to get?
Yeah, and you come into Bill Belichick's mind where no running back's job is safe. Do you have any other options out of flex?
Yeah, right now I do have Tony projected at 8.6 points, 3 catches, 37 yards, and only a 20% chance at a touchdown. But Tampa Bay is ranked 26th against fantasy wide receivers.
Yeah.
So if he is healthy and is playing, it's a good matchup. Let me look at Stevenson here for tonight.
Because I know they just had their bye, and he took the week off prior to the bye, so he's had 2 weeks off, and he got injured in the first quarter of that game anyway, so he's technically had 3 weeks off. So, and I know Sterling Shepard still is questionable, and I believe Galladay is still questionable. So if Tony's healthy, I would say almost want to start Tony, because it's hard to say with Stevenson being at the Patriots. If Harris is playing good, Bill Belichick's always had that mindset. If one guy is playing better, than if their third string comes out and scores a touchdown 20 yards out, they're going to keep him in the game for a drive or two. I don't know. With Harris around, it's kind of.
And I do actually have them coming into tonight. I do have them projected about the same. Stevenson at 10.4 and Harris at 9.8, but that's because he still had that questionable mark next to him, so that'll change a little bit here before the game. So
I kind of want to know if he has.
Man, I wouldn't want to make that decision.
Yeah,
I want to see if he has any other options if he's still in the stream, because if he has anyone else that he can play. I would go with Tony, truthfully, if it was me.
Yeah,
Just-
I would go with Tony too.
Just because he has the upside of being a jet sweep or passing touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you go with Tony, but you got to make sure that because this is for your flex, which it's kind of nice that it's for your flex because that's not till Monday night. That you got to pick someone up that if you do get word that Tony's not playing, like maybe there's like Darius Slayton's available or another Giants or Bucks receiver, that you can put in that flex spot that just in case he doesn't go.
Truthfully, I mean, I think the player right now, and he's probably available in a lot of leagues because he's been kind of getting slept on. I picked him up in one of my leagues. Is Evan Ingram? Him and Daniel Jones have actually been having that connection. I think he has a touchdown in like 2 or 3 of the last 4 games. So like he's starting to play better when he's healthy. I mean, that's Evan Ingram's whole career has been defined by injuries, and I think there's a possibility. I think I saw Monday night Saquon Barkley could be back, but probably doubtful. Glass bones.
Yeah, let me see. We do have another question here about tonight's game. DJ asks, how do you feel about Stevenson tonight, or should I go with Mike Davis, who isn't consistent? Which one should I start?
I'll let you start that, Peo.
Well, we've talked a lot about Stevenson just with Harris coming back, but I don't have a lot of faith in Mike Davis unless I know Cordell Patterson's a game time decision. Do we have word on him yet?
Last I saw, he pretty much was doubtful. They said unless he comes out and he looks healthy, they said he's only practiced, I think, one day this week, and that was Tuesday. So
I think he's not playing. You got to go with Davis given these 2 options.
Let me see. Cordell Patterson was just officially ruled out.
Oh, yep. Yeah. DJ also put that in the chat that Patterson has been ruled out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go with Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go Davis just for the fact that the only other person that the Falcons have is Wayne Gallman.
So, and I had where is he? I had Davis even before that was announced. I had Davis at 9.7 points tonight. So which is right in line there with guys like Kareem Hunt, Mark Ingram, Elijah Mitchell, Antonio Gibson. So yeah, not a bad start tonight. Yeah. Those numbers will go up actually tonight with Patterson being out. So
yeah, I mean, I think the Falcons hoped that Mike Davis was the Mike Davis they got from Carolina, but I think that they realized their offensive line isn't anything like he had in Carolina. So I think that it's hard to want to say he'll have a good game, but knowing Bill Belichick, John told me this the other week, he always shuts down one player on the opposing team. So which it's kind of hard to say what wide receiver, so he might just focus his time on like Kyle Pitts. And it's kind of hard to say, but I think that Davis, if they can go out and they can run the ball and control it right off the bat, he could end up being pretty decent.
Yeah, Dirtbag saying wish he had Patterson. He puts up a lot of points. I know he's out this week, but I don't know. Wonder how many leagues he actually got drafted in as compared to being picked up off of waivers.
I actually drafted him in one of my leagues.
Yeah.
I drafted him really late. He was right after I drafted Mike Williams. So 16th and 17th round, I drafted both of them. And I kind of left him on the bench week 1. And then week 2, I left him on the bench. And then week 3, I'm like, he probably won't have a good game. And he ended up having a great game. And I'm like, all right, I probably should start on week 4. He tanked. And I'm like, that sounds about right. And then I'm like, all right, so I'm going to throw him back in. And I ended up using him as trade bait. And I was like, all right, well, kind of worked out in my favor. Because I think at the time I traded him for, I think it was like CMC. And I think it was like Tyler Lockett or something I traded him for, and CMC came back. Because at that time I already had Hubbard, so I knew when CMC came back, I kind of was set up in that league. So it worked out in my favor. And then I tried trading him for another league, and I ended up couldn't get him. And then now he's injured.
Yeah. I'm just going back up through the chat here. Dirtbag did ask another question that I think we missed here. Traequan Smith or Christian Kirk? I'm worried about Colt McCoy starting, he said.
That's a fair thing to worry about.
So Traequan Smith,
Christian Kirk week would kind of define on DeAndre Hopkins. If Hopkins, I think, plays and he's healthy, then I think Kirk probably won't have as good of a game. Traequan Smith, I think he's second to Harris in New Orleans, but he's been getting a lot of targets anyways with Trevor Siemian and back.
And Traequan, I just looked up Traequan. I have him only projected at 6.8 points this week, going up against Philadelphia, who's actually number 4 against fantasy wide receivers. So that's a tough matchup. There. Oop.
Yeah, but
sorry. Go ahead.
Anyone can have a breakout game depending if they have the number 1 cornerback or who's having a game. It all comes down to is if he has time in the backfield to throw the ball. I think that Christian Kirk would probably be a better option, just because he has the speed and he has the ability to get down the field quicker and break out. But if Hopkins is playing, if he's fully 100%,
You're breaking up there, Sean.
Yeah, I think what Sean's saying, I agree with it. It's sort of like if Hopkins is playing, then Christian Kirk's value goes down, and you consider going with Smith. But yeah, I could see. I think my gut would tell me plan to play Kirk, but then if Hopkins is in fact playing, strongly consider going over to Smith.
And I haven't heard any injury updates on Murray. What's up with him?
I think he's expected to play.
He's expected to play, but they haven't. I think tomorrow you'll see more, depending on how they haven't said how his Thursday practice went, because it's only 4:00 out there. So I guess it would have to. It would have to.
Sean, I think we're losing you, bud.
Let's see the latest injury update on Murray that I see here. There's a whole bunch of other ones, but so this is from 4 hours ago, and it looks like he did practice on Thursday and is trending towards playing. Yeah, so he hasn't. Yeah, though they still have to make a decision tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Dirtbag does say here in the chat, Colt McCoy's probably starting for the Cardinals, so I don't know.
I think if he's capable of playing, you kind of can't say that he's not going to want to be in there. I mean,
it's divisional.
They are defying them. Yeah, they're kind of going for the division. They're going for the 1 seed. I mean, it's a big difference if you're a 1 or a 2 seed versus being a 5 or a 5 seed.
Mm-hmm. Dirtbag dropping all the great questions though.
Yeah, keep them coming. We'll keep talking. Let's go actually over to our projected stats for tonight's game here. Put them up on screen. I got Mac Jones, currently ranked 20th in the league. Not bad. Not having a bad rookie season. 16th this week. Projected for 20 points, 23 completions, 33 attempts, 255 yards, between 1 and 2 touchdowns. Sean, what do you think of those projections for tonight? Low, high?
how many he's not really averaging many touchdowns a game. I think he could have higher. It all comes down to is that how the defense plays out for the Falcons. I mean, they've been, I think, getting more rushing touchdowns than anything lately, so I think that's where it comes down to.
Yeah. Peo, what do you think? What do you think of Mac Jones tonight?
Well, first off, shout out to Brian Hoyer for being ranked in the top 50. No, I think Mac Jones will. I don't expect him to light anything up tonight, but I could see him scoring pretty much around those projections. Yeah.
Yep.
Stevenson.
I just updated it. Still have Stevenson and Harris about 10.4 and 9.8 points. I still lean Harris tonight. If he is fully healthy, and it sounds like he is, I have him projected at 55 yards and 50% chance of a touchdown. I could see them both getting a touchdown actually. But what do you guys think of the two New England running backs?
I'd agree that I think Damien Harris it seems with his return from injury, they'll want to get him involved, assuming he is fully healthy. And yeah, I maybe it's a gut feeling. I don't know. Harris just seems like the better back tonight.
I agree. Maybe they're misleading how Harris actually is, but as far as I know, I think he's still the starting running back there. I mean, Stevenson, he's been coming on lately, so I mean, they could, like, when it gets down into the red zone or something, it could be more using him than Harris because he's a bigger back. But if it gets down to it and it's like a second and like 5 or 6 or a third down, they're going to be throwing the ball, so not going to see much. You won't see much running back anyways being used there. But if it's first and goal or second and goal inside the 5, you're going to see them probably use Stevenson more, unless it's short distance and Harris can jump over the pile.
Yeah, looking at the New England wide receivers, I know Myers was able to get his first touchdown. He's ranked 33rd on the year, and Bourne is 32nd. But Myers, I have him at 29 this week. We're both of them worth fantasy starts.
If you have, I think there's better options just because the Patriots do kind of spread the ball out. And happy for Myers that he finally got his first career touchdown in 3 years, which is insane to me. That he's been in the league 3 years and he hasn't had a touchdown for as much as he's played,
especially on the Patriots.
Yeah, right.
It's just such a weird thing for him, right? But
it's weird that Tom Brady being there his first year in the league, he didn't get a touchdown from Tom Brady because Tom Brady throws at least one touchdown to everybody that plays with him.
Yeah. Myers the one that got away, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Myers, they use him for jet sweeps and all that a lot there, and like the trickery plays. I think he had a passing touchdown the other week.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think he's got an upside where he could be used as a running back, quarterback if needed, or a wide receiver, where Bourne is more of the north-south speed. I know he's got a couple like 50, 60-yard touchdowns this year, so that's where he could get you. And then besides that, you can't really trust anyone else but below those two, just for the fact that they have their tight ends then.
And I'm actually surprised Nelson Aguilar had a decent season last year and just isn't doing anything in New England fantasy related.
He came from a high passing offense to a low passing offense.
So let's see here. Before we jump, Dirtbag sends another question in here. Any under the radar tight ends that you guys might know about? Let's bring up the projected tight ends.
The one that I feel like a lot of people are talking about, but no one's actually like committing to playing him in their lineup yet is Tom Conklin with the Vikings.
Actually, I just picked him up last week off of waivers.
See, I have so many friends that tell me that they're like, "Oh yeah, I picked up Conklin," but like, yeah, it's like, "Oh, are you gonna play him?" No. so
I
think
the underrated tight end that second year in the league is Colt Mccoy.
Yeah,
right above Conklin.
I think him and Justin Fields have that connection. Since Justin Fields has started, Colt Mccoy's actually got more receptions than Allen Robinson does, or any other wide receiver. And I know they're getting David Montgomery back fully this week. I know last week he was on a snap count, so he's fully back this week. So will that affect anything, sort of thing? But I think that he's actually going to help the offense and everything with them against Baltimore. I mean, a lot of teams have proven in recent time that the tight end with Baltimore kind of gets unseen. So he could get a lot of receptions down short because with the wide receivers, they cover them pretty good most of the time. But the tight end kind of goes unseen for them and everything. So could see a couple screens.
Baltimore is ranked 30th against fantasy tight end. So, Komet, if you need a tight end this week, that's not a bad option there. Yeah, that bears. Yeah, he said, and Dirtbag chimes in again. Says, yeah, that Bears tight end is nice. So, like Peyo, you said, Conklin, I picked him up. Now I'm looking. I know Sean's favorite tight end in the league is Pat Freiermuth. He's still available in about 47% of leagues. I like him. Go ahead.
As I said on Sunday, Pat, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Another player, I mean, you have him low on your projections this week, but I mean, I don't think you can really call him under the radar, is Dawson Knox. He came back from injury last week, and I mean, in the red zone, he is Josh Allen's favorite.
Yeah.
Right. And this week, I mean, on the year, he is averaging 12 points a game. I only have him at 8.6 this week, but they're in a favorable matchup. Indianapolis gives up a lot of points to tight ends, so that's another one.
Another player.
He's about available in about 25% of leagues. Sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
Another player there. I mean, you have him projected there as 10.3 is Dallas Goedert. But I know he still has to clear concussion protocol, so keep an eye on that just in case if you have Goddard, maybe pick up the backup. I know Hurts does like throwing to Goddard a lot, so and I know last week as soon as he got injured, I think it was early in that game, and he ended up having a couple catches that were big for good yardage.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't even know his name. I truthfully, I couldn't even tell you what his name was on the team.
What's his? Actually, another guy I like since he got traded. It was kind of a quiet trade earlier in the year. Dan Arnold going to Jacksonville.
I'm starting him this week yet.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Didn't he leave? Didn't he get traded from Arizona too?
Oh, I don't know.
Or no, was it Carolina?
Yeah, it was Carolina because it was.
I forget
it was Sam Darnold throwing to Dan Arnold.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was in Arizona last year, and I think he signed as a free agent in Carolina, and then Carolina traded him after he played on a Sunday or a Thursday night game, and he ended up playing Sunday already. I think in Jacksonville already.
Yeah, I think so. So, any other tight ends, Payo?
No, it's slim pickings, right? You know, I'm trying to convince one of my league commissioners to eliminate the tight end position just because it is so it's so bare, and you know, I want to add in punters to fantasy football.
What?
You cannot tell me how excited it would be if you added in
Sean would run.
You know, how fun would that be? It's like, this punter just pinned them at the one. That's like 10 points.
Oh, that's like at the one. That's got to be like 25 points right there.
Yeah, yeah. And how'd you lose fantasy this week? Because the punter got a punt inside the 20.
I think that'd be awesome. Yeah.
That's as bad as having linebackers in a league and a defense, and you can pick up everyone on one defense, and you get like 20 points on one defense because they got a tackle or interception. Imagine getting a pick return with one of your defenders, and you get 6 points for there, 2 points for the interception. Your defense gets 6 more, and 2 points on top of it. Oh, that's a 24-point swing real quick.
Hey, I think that's fun. Dirtbag doesn't agree with me. I just think it'd be great if I could start a punter, and then based on their performance, bring down their point percentage, like keep it within ratio, and I think it could be a fun addition to a fantasy football league. The rest of my league
that would be different. Definitely.
But the real question is, what about pancake tackles then for tight ends? Do you want to keep those around? Because I mean, George Kittle did pancake tackle your guy Von Miller.
Okay, we don't need to talk about that there, Sean. Okay,
I'm just bringing it up. You brought up about punters. Okay, I'm just bringing up a pancake.
Okay, tackling happens like every single day. It's not every punt that goes inside the 5.
Right.
But George Kittle does have a record of pancake tackling his guys. I mean,
okay, I'm not saying give points for pancaking people. I'm give points for the punter.
I don't know about punters. I don't know.
I mean, actually,
what happens if they go into the red end zone? Then is it lose you points?
Yeah, right. If it's a touchback, then what happens?
Sure, why not? I don't know. Like if it's a shank punt or something, like because there you can add it that like if people if kickers miss like a field goal, it's minus so many points.
-1.
Right?
We have that in our league.
Yeah, so like if a punter does a touchback, say it's like minus half a point or something. I don't know. Like,
but what about would you have it that they could still get passing yards?
Yeah,
I mean, punters have been throwing a lot lately.
If
I know
they pull
Detroit
off a fake. Yeah, I totally think punters should get some points for that. And like if a punter somehow runs it, like give them some points. I don't know. Like, I just think it'd be. See, Dirtbag's on board now. He's saying, "Let's go." Okay, yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I still think you might as well just keep the tight end position and just add another position for punters.
Well, but the thing, my point of the tight end, it's kind of two separate things that blended together. Because the tight end position is so like top heavy, like. There's your top 3 guys, then there's like kind of your next second tier, and then there's a huge drop off, right? But like with punters, like any given Sunday, a punter can have a great performance, and it is a little random, but like the punter from the Jaguars can be just as good as like the punter from like the Titans or like say the Buccaneers or the Rams or something.
Well, yeah, it only would suck if you have like, the first week out when Dallas and Tampa Bay only punted one time combined the whole game. If you have a punter there, you're kind of SOL for any point.
But that's
strategy. Right, you would then draft a punter from a bad team.
Yeah, like I want the punter of the team that like struggles on offense.
The Vikings. Get the Vikings punter.
Like, we don't punt, all right? We turn the ball over or miss field goals. Get it right.
Give me the Lions punter. Right?
Well, I mean, do you want the Lions or do you want the Steelers? Because it seems like they're both pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, might have to join a league with you with punters now next year.
Yeah. You know what? We should maybe make this happen. The Pure Adrenaline Punter Fantasy League.
Great. Next year we'll be talking about punters.
I'm not putting my name on that.
We'll be talking about punters now next year instead of kickers because I can't stand talking about them.
The Payo Punter Fantasy League. I like it. Oh, that's funny.
Well, you'd have to make it the last letter something about R. PPR, that would be.
Something like that, yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you what. If I can get Pat McAfee on my show, we'll do a fantasy league. How about that?
He would endorse this. He would totally.
He would say punters' lives matter.
Right.
Yeah. Punters are people too. Yeah.
Right.
Nah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. It would all come down to how the point aspects come out. But I don't know if I don't know if you can really eliminate the tight end position. I think if anything, you would almost have to limit how many people can have tight ends.
Yeah.
Because I know one of my
or somehow lump tight ends in with wide receivers.
Yeah, like it has an overall like wide receiver tight end position.
Right.
Just for the fact that you're not gonna have people drafting, Darren Waller and then stealing Mark Andrews or something and then you have 2 tight ends on one team, and it's kind of like you're stuck with nobody, or have it that.
Like currently, one of my leagues is a 2 tight end league, and it's horrible. Like I tell the commish we've had the past 2 years, I'm like, this is stupid. Like because one guy has Kelsey and Waller because a knucklehead traded him that, and so now immediately he has a huge advantage at those 2 positions.
Yeah.
Wow, that's just.
Anyway,
I don't know. Or if anything, you almost gotta have it that it's limited only to 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then on bye weeks, you're kind of SOL. But then again, everyone would have that fair advantage that they'd always have that 1 bye week, or they end up dropping the player they have or hope they're injured.
Yeah, and just Dirtbag says he's in now. It sounds interesting. So we have at least 5 people or 4 people for this fantasy league.
John wants nothing to do with punter.
Oh no, I'll play.
He's playing now. Okay. He probably wants you to eliminate the kicking department, though.
I would take a punter over a kicker.
That'll be his one Jet player on his team. He'll have the punter under the Jets.
Sean mentioned pancakes, so we got to somehow get offensive linemen involved in this fantasy league.
Well, I'm not doing offensive line. I'm just drafting George Kittle because he's the pancake master.
Oh, for the record, did you guys see Odell's? So after the interception, Odell's textbook tackle on Monday night.
No, I didn't see it.
If you go back and you watch that interception, you're like, oh, he intercepted. Whoa, that was a nice tackle. Oh, he intercepted it. So Odell knows how to tackle. Just saying.
Well, he's used to it. He was on the Giants.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's true. Yeah. I'm just thinking maybe we should put Odell as a DB. Maybe that'll be good for him.
Well, I was surprised he was involved as much as he was.
In the 1 week I'm in, I'm actually. If someone say a wide receiver, say Mac Jones fumbles tonight and I have Jacoby Myers and he recovers a fumble, I actually gain 2 points for a fumble. Yeah. And if he tackles someone, I get a point for tackling. And then it's but they also have it set up that if you have a quarterback that say a missed snap and it counts as a fumble, all those yards is 1 point, is a half a point. And I'm the 1 week I lost because Jalen Hurts fumbled for me, and it was I think it was the week that they got the safety on the Panthers, and I was I lost 10 points because of 1 fumble, and I was are you kidding me?
Oh, that's annoying. I agree with Dirtbag. He knows what's up. We should put Odell at safety.
That's funny. We're getting close to the top of the hour here. Is there anybody on Atlanta that people should be putting in their lineups this week?
Kyle Pitts. I mean, that's the only player probably other than Mike Davis.
Are you putting Matt Ryan in?
No. I am not starting. I am not starting Matt Ryan. I'm sure I could pick up Joe Schmo off the waiver wire.
Joe Schmo, is he available?
He probably is on your. He probably is. He'd be good for your 4-6 team.
Josh Rosen is on the Falcons now.
He is the NFL league leader for going to teams.
Yeah, wow, this guy
in 1 year.
No,
I think he's been on 4.
To him, wow.
He is the new Sam Bradford.
Yeah, except less money.
Right?
Can we talk about though that you have Greg Dortch up there twice? I didn't know there was 2 players with the same name.
Oh, will you relax? Still working out bugs. This is the first year we're doing this, bud.
Well, I'm just asking for a friend.
Okay.
He's so good, you should start him twice.
You have Hayden Hurst up there. He's on the IR. Come on, bud.
Oh, hey, you're definitely starting Q. We should clarify that. You should be starting Q tonight.
Yeah, you always got to start a Young Ho Q.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's the best kicker in the league. He doesn't
miss. He's ranked 15th.
He doesn't miss.
If you're in a 12-team fantasy league, that's not worth starting.
He don't miss though. I don't think he's missed a field goal or an extra point this year. I think he's the one kicker.
But he doesn't miss.
Exactly. I mean, the Falcons don't score very often, so you don't need him.
I think Matt Bosher, the Falcons punter, he'd be a solid start tonight if that league existed. Just saying.
Watch this be the night Atlanta does not get stopped on offense. Like they score every down. No extra points, no field goals, no nothing. We're going down the field. We're scoring 2 every time.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if Atlanta jumped out to a 28-3 lead? What do you think would happen?
Mac Jones come back and leads the win overtime. First drive of the game goes to the running back.
I think Atlanta would be smart enough and actually run the ball.
No, they're still not smart enough. They were still throwing the ball down 28-3 last week. They could have had a chance.
Did you guys see the thing that like they did a simulation that if in that Super Bowl Atlanta had just knelt down every single time
they still would have won.
Like let it bleed and then like just take the penalty, whatever, and then punt it away, they would have still won the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's crazy.
I don't understand that game. I watched it. I could watch it. It's on every year, and at least 50 times. And every time I watch it, I still wonder what went through their minds at halftime, saying we have the biggest lead on Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Why are we still throwing the ball?
Yeah.
Only time you throw the ball is on third down. You were running on first and second down. They were throwing on first and third and running on a third. It was complete opposite. It was just
madness.
Now, Dirtbag says, what do you guys think about the uniform Atlanta's wearing tonight? I actually haven't flipped the channel over yet, so I haven't seen them. Have you guys seen them?
Yeah, I think it's a throwback.
I don't know if it's throwback.
I thought it was a throwback to their Dirty Bird unis.
Hold on, let me switch.
It is a throwback. Now I'm looking it up here. Yeah, but they do look cool, and like I don't know, like I can appreciate like. To me, the Atlanta Falcons look best when they're in like the black jersey, and so yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's a throwback to the Dirty Birds.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe that will empower them to overcome.
90s, yeah. Dirtbag said it's from the 90s.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders time.
Dirtbag, what do you think about them?
When Atlanta came out with their uniforms at first, I kind of thought they were hideous until I saw them on the field. And then I kind of actually liked them at first. And then I kind of like, then every team started changing them, and it's kind of like, it's hard to change. It's hard to change your original jerseys. Like, I don't know. You can have. I feel like every team should have that one throwback they can play like multiple times a year, and then no one really does it.
Yeah.
Like. The color rush uniforms were smart, but at the same time, some of the teams were just complete hideous. Like Washington was like pure yellow.
Yeah.
Jaguars were gold all the way, and it's like there's uniforms out there that were good, and then there's uniforms out there that you kind of looked at like, why are you on the field wearing these? What grown man wants to wear this uniform looking like golden mustard?
Do you guys remember when it was a few years ago, the Jaguars had their helmets were 2 different colors. Like half was black and half was, I forget what the other color was.
Gold. Yeah, it was gold.
Why?
Because they thought that they could sell something. They thought they could sell their uniforms and everything for people to want to buy them. And I don't know if anyone's buying a Jaguars uniform. They might have to give it to them.
When they had Tim Tebow, those uniforms came off the shelf pretty quick.
For about 2 weeks. And then they released them, and then they were like, damn. We have to give everyone their money back because they're returning it already because they didn't even get it made.
Yeah, Dirtbag, I agree. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Atlanta's like pure red uniform with like the white lettering on it.
Is that their color rush?
I don't think it's their color rush, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. But I like what they're doing tonight. I
like the uniforms that the Niners are wearing as their throwback this year. I think the 1980s uniform.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In the early 90s. I think that kind of is like what teams should be going for. Kind of like an era where you were good. Mm-hmm. Like, so Jacksonville probably wouldn't wear them other than in 2018 or 17. But I don't know. I feel like Minnesota, it'd be cool if they brought back like the era where they had the logo on the shoulder and all that, like Randy Moss when he first came into the league, like their late 90s.
The Jags could go back to like the 07 season with David Garrard. You know, that was a nice aqua green. That looked pretty cool.
What Rams uniform would you want?
Oh, I actually think the Rams how like I like some of our uniforms and some of them I don't like at all. We're a team that have been rebranded many times. Their newest one I actually think looks really good. It's kind of a throwback to the '99 season, but also it's a modern throwback to the Eric Dickerson from like the '70s too. So I like those. But yeah, I really, to be honest, I'm one of those Ram fans that like I love the blue and white together. Like yellow is cool, but like I think just the simplicity of just like the Rams horn on the helmet that's white. Not the I don't like the new broken horn. But yeah, I like the Dirtbags likes the '90s LA Rams more than no. I did enjoy some of St. Louis. The early 2000s. Like this is obviously this one here. I enjoy. This is the kind of Marshall Faulk era. But yeah, I agree with you, Dirtbag. '90s were good, except for the Rams logo in the '90s when they first moved to St. Louis. That was trash.
Yeah. Speaking of the Rams, the Kurt Warner movie comes out on Christmas Day.
So pumped! Yeah, so pumped.
He even got his Christmas blanket ready for Christmas Day.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a Canada blanket. It's cold here in Canada right now. Yeah.
It's always cold in Canada.
Not always, but we actually have quite hot summers. People just don't know it. Yeah, no, I'm stoked for that movie. I did a reaction video to it on my live stream today, and yeah, the Ramley's pretty stoked for that movie, and like that movie means a lot to me because it's like the year I became a Rams fan, and it got made into a movie. Like that's so cool.
Zachary Levi was one of my favorite actors. He was in a show called Chuck. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Yeah.
But looking at some of the clips from the movie, he got his form down pretty good.
Yeah. He did have I'm told he did have a really impressive stunt double to be a quarterback. So like there's a lot of scenes that's not him throwing the ball. But, yeah.
What do you think of the Tom Brady?
Oh, go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say, what do you think of the Tom Brady series coming out?
Like,
is it going to be on ESPN?
Sense. You know, it's one of those things that's like, if Tom Brady wasn't Tom Brady, I'd probably actually get excited to see it. But because he's Tom Brady, I'm like, I don't want to see it.
Right? Yeah, like I don't care. I dealt with this guy in my division for 100 years.
Yeah.
Why do I care?
It didn't matter. Your teams were trash every year. It didn't matter.
Yeah, and he helped that.
Well,
he kept them trash.
Yeah.
he only reinforced the fact that you guys only beat him, I think, like 6 times the whole time his career was there.
Okay. Once was in the playoffs too in New England.
But
I don't know if you guys knew this. The NFL this year, this is the last year of their one helmet rule.
Really?
Yes. So next year they can start using throwback. They can start using throwback helmets or alternate helmets. Right.
That's the money choice right there. They want some merch sales.
Well, they used to have that. The one helmet rule went in place in 2013. So teams did do other throwback stuff, but now this is the last year of it. So some teams can be coming out with some alternates and stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, you might use a select helmet with a select uniform. Like if you're doing a throwback, you're going to want the helmet to go with it. You're not going to want to have to wear your generic, like your modern era helmet. Like I think Green Bay, when they played Washington, they had the throwback uniform and they had to wear a modern day helmet. It's like, kind of defeats the purpose of a throwback.
All they did was took the G off it.
Yeah, they put the numbers on the side because they had to make it look like their actual helmet. Now they couldn't change everything. Like it couldn't be a different color.
Yeah. Do you know who actually has a really nice throwback when they wear it? The Lions, when they have those like silver bullet throwbacks, those look good.
I think their best jersey that Detroit's ever had is their black one with the blue letters. They wore it when Calvin Johnson was there.
Yeah.
I think that was the best jersey. It's like the Eagles. Their throwback jerseys is a jersey they came out with Donovan McNabb, the black uniforms. And it's like it's not really a throwback. That was only 10 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, the team that it's funny because their throwbacks literally look very much the same as their modern one are the Colts. Like,
Yeah,
if you look at Colts
Yeah, like some
jersey
teams don't
history,
change.
it's the shoulder. I think the
Yeah.
shoulder and the helmet is different,
Yeah.
and the lettering is bigger. And that's it.
it's like so consistent. Like,
I think it'd be cool if like every team like once a year could throw back to like when they were relocated in a different area. Like Tennessee would be like Houston Oilers
Houston
or something.
Oilers, right?
Like you could use a different era, like if you weren't always in that town, like the Rams could use like St. Louis Rams colors and the helmet and all that. Like you could bring back that logo for that game or something, like
that'd be kind of
like
cool.
to bring back different, like obviously like Houston, Jacksonville, they would always be those teams. But like you could have teams that like relocated be able to use different stuff.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, well, guys, this has been a blast, guys. But I do want to. I know the game's gonna get started soon. I gotta get some food before the game starts. But thanks for having me on.
All right,
hey, no problem.
Let everybody know before you sign off where they can catch your stuff at.
Oh yeah, find me on YouTube, Payo Time, Payo Time, and I'm the first thing that comes up. And I love talking about the Rams and football in general. I do watch parties and lots of other fun content. And if you love talking football, make sure you give us a subscribe. And I hope, did we get you to 100 subs tonight?
No, we're not. No, I actually haven't checked it. I try not to look at the numbers while I'm streaming.
Oh man, we gotta get you to 100 subs.
Yeah.
We got
We'll get there. We're getting there slowly but surely. We're gaining ground here.
Absolutely. So the first 100 is the biggest grind.
Yeah. So once again, thanks for joining us. I know it was kind of late.
No,
late
my
notice
pleasure.
there,
Thanks
but
for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for coming on.
Have a good night.
See ya.
Sean, any wild takes for tonight's game?
I think it's gonna be a close game. I like a matchup that's actual. We can look at it on paper and say that it's gonna be a close game. I know the Patriots are heavy favorite. I think they're like 6.5 point favorites, but I don't think it'll be that far of a game. I think it's honestly going to come down to like a field goal that could be like a 1 or 2 point win. I think it could come down to that. I mean, it'd be cool to watch a Thursday night football game and it went into overtime or something to like have that like energy level. Like you have to stay up, like you're wanting to watch a game and all that. Like it's been a while since we've had those kind of like big energy Thursday night football games where it's like back and forth scoring. It's not a snooze fest. Like I'm falling asleep watching it. Like it's been the last few weeks.
Yeah. Yep. So make sure, guys, the game's just getting about to start. Make sure you get your lineups in. Check any injuries or bye weeks. There's only 2 teams on a bye this week: the Broncos and the Rams. Put some good fantasy players on the Rams. So make sure if you do have them, make sure you get them replaced. But yeah, we'll be back Sunday at 12 noon Eastern time. But then next week we'll be on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. With Thanksgiving next week. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. Sean, thanks for coming on.
Yep.
I'll see you Sunday. And
I'll see you Sunday.
Good luck this week.
All right, I'll talk to you later, John.
See you.